Welcome to the Business Owner Spotlight Series. My name is Gabriel Moore. I am the senior partner and head coach here at Action Coach Vanguard in Central Iowa. Today, I've got Todd Thams, the owner of Mod Advisor, as my guest. We're going to be talking about his business, his journey to business ownership, challenges, best practices, and share a peek into what it's really like to build and operate a business. If this is your first time on the channel, please be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop new conversations just like this one. Todd, welcome and thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate you. And if you can, give us a brief overview of your background and tell us a little bit about your business.
Wonderful. Well, Gabe, thanks again for having me on. It's been great to talk with you just a little bit before the show here and get to know you. How far back do you want to go for a background?
I guess it's completely up to you, right? I mean, we can take this all the way back to childhood. If it's relative, let's go.
Sure. So I'm an Iowa native. I was born here, raised here, lived here for the majority of my life. I actually grew up in a small town in Denison, Iowa, in Western Iowa. I grew up in an insurance family. My dad's side of the family had an insurance business. My mom's side of the family had an insurance business. And somehow, guess what? I found my way into insurance.
Oh, imagine
So
that.
imagine that. Owned a third generation family business that I sold in 2022. And with the sale of that, it freed up time to pursue my new passion, which is building a software company for the insurance industry for workers' compensation, which we started building in 2021. And that's what I do full time today. We made the transition from Denison to Des Moines last August. My daughter lives in Ankeny, as a matter of fact. And so, yeah, happy to be in the Des Moines area.
Yeah, well, we're happy to have you. I mean, you have a unique product, but I'm sure it's incredibly important to the right audience, right? Generally speaking, what does your current ownership structure look like? Are you the sole founder, owner, or are there like outside investors?
So we have outside investors. So Mod Advisor, I bootstrapped it initially, and then we needed to take on some additional investment capital to grow. We did a friends and family round in the fall of 2021. And then along our journey, we were accepted into, Des Moines, Iowa is one of the insurance headquarters of the world. I think it's the third largest. And we have a bunch of great insurance partners in the area. And they came together and they formed a group called Broker Tech Ventures. And really what that group is it highlights insurtechs and anything in the insurance industry from across the country. So we were accepted into their 2022 cohort, which they also made an investment in the company. And that's allowed us to not only make some great connections, but some great networking and
Now,
continue to grow and build.
that's fantastic. When you look at your role today, how many hours do you think you spend working in your business? You know, the grind. I'm sure you're familiar with it. You and I before we talked a little bit about another business that you owned, and then in your brief background, we talked about that. How many and so in the job, the grind, and how much time are you able to spend working on the business and on the actual growth?
So, it's interesting. I'm 47 years old and I left kind of a cushy, well-respected insurance business where I could go play golf to work harder than I've ever worked before. So when it comes to hours in the day, we actually run a dev team over in India that has been with us. I mean, about 7 people that have been with us since 2021. And so I think it's common in our industry when you have overseas work that they work US hours, and we don't do that. So our
Right,
dev team, their day ends, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. And so I like to get up
right.
at 5 o'clock in the morning and start pounding on my keyboard, talking to them, figuring out issues, what's going on, what leadership can I provide, what problems can I solve, and then into the shower, and then we start working. So hours a week, 60, 70,
Yeah.
sometimes less, sometimes more.
Okay, well, I obviously don't need to welcome you to entrepreneurship. I mean, you already have that kind of in the bag, right? But it does seem to be like a real, I don't want, it's not a disease, but it's just something that all of us entrepreneurs may have to deal with kind of at the beginning of whether we bootstrap or get investing, we're still kind of just in it, right? I mean, we're really just in the grind.
It's interesting. I
Uh,
saw a TikTok the other day,
Yeah.
And the woman goes, it's a woman talking, and she goes, "If you're an entrepreneur, I can tell you one of your key traits, and that you don't like to be told what to do." Like that nail could not have been hit on the head any harder, because that's exactly.
Legitimately nailed it. Legitimately nailed it. You know, and we're in business coaching, and you can imagine that we don't with business coaching, we're not telling anybody what to do, right? We're actually coaching them through their process. However, there are some business or owners and entrepreneurs out there that kind of take it that way, is that I want to do it myself. I don't need coaching. I don't need this. And so that's a struggle that I think our industry actually has a little bit. So that's cool that you TikTok, love it. Uh, let's move on to what makes your business so special. Who primarily does your business serve? If I was an audience member for your business, and I was the person that needed your service or your software, what do I look like? What's my role? What does that look like?
So we do workers' compensation claims analysis, and the way that workers' compensation premiums are calculated is extremely complex. In addition to payroll and employees and past claims, like there's a whole mathematical formula that goes into that. And so most commonly, the users of our software are insurance brokers, specifically insurance brokers that, like if you go down to the smaller end, that are focused on value adding at the commercial interaction of what they do with workers' compensation, all the way up to extremely large brokers and then even insurance carriers. And what they'll do is they'll use our software in terms of loss control, new business development, and underwriting to help educate that business on maybe past claims, how to, actions that they can take and steps they can take to reduce claims going forward. And then we show what the ROI is. So if you're a business that wants to keep your employees safe and you've had some claims and you're trying to figure out how to unbury yourself from increased premiums, we mathematically show, here's what you can do, here's how you do it, here's the levers you can pull during that claim process to actually reduce your future work comp premiums.
So it's kind of a measurement system that gives you the ability to justify changes you're going to make that'll benefit you in the long run financially.
Absolutely. And so, for example, like the construction industry, um, they're very sensitive to mod scores. And a lot of times in the construction industry, if they have claims and their mod score goes above 1, they're not able to bid work because no
Wow.
general contractor wants somebody who's got prior claim experience and frequency of claims on the job site. So
Interesting. So wait a minute. So are you saying that like if a contractor were to hire another contracting company, they want to look at their score, they'll look at their score, and if they've got a higher than a 1 in that particular area, they might not bring them on to the project?
Mhm. especially if you're a job site that's subject to OSHA,
Yeah.
where I mean it may lead to increased fines, penalties, delays in construction.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It'll be in the RFP or the bid document.
Yeah, it'll be a basic Overwatch, right? I mean, if OSHA's the hawk up on the building next door, right? I mean, it's not going to be good for your business if you've got a high workers' comp number.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and it's not even OSHA that does it.
right.
It's the general contractor saying, "Hey, if you can't show a history of safety and performance,
Sure.
we don't want you on the job site."
Yeah. So it's a value add, really, honestly, if you think about it. If you're selling to a general contractor, it's a value add to be able to say, hey, check this out. Due to the analysis that we got, we were able to reduce our rating below 1, and now we're more valuable than we used to be, blah, blah, blah.
100%. And it's
Right on.
ultimately gave us more than just a mod number. I mean, really, you want
Yeah.
to keep people safe. You want to look for loss
Yes.
trending. You want to like, hey, what's going on? Where do we have a problem at? Is our training program for new hires not working? Are we
Right.
seeing older people getting injured? Are we seeing, men versus women? Like what's going on in our global workforce that we can tweak to make changes so people don't get hurt? And ultimately that drives down costs for everybody.
Yeah. Right. And it's almost like a bonus effect, right? We're focusing on the financials because it's mathematical numbers that we can change, we can adjust, we can control that. Can't really control emotions. However, the byproduct of that control is more emotional stability inside of the company and more, ease of selling jobs to bigger contractors. There's a lot of bonuses to it. That makes sense to me.
100%.
That's it's it's complicated. So like if you're not actually in the industry, in my opinion, right? All opinions are my own, right? It's complicated if you're not necessarily in the industry, but as a business owner who deals with larger work comp claims like this, I could easily see how this type of analysis would be incredibly cost effective. So I wouldn't have, I mean, it's not my industry, so I wouldn't have thought that something like this would have existed in this capacity. I think it's brilliant.
Well, then the mod
Um,
score affects every single workers' compensation policy sold.
right. And then you guys have the unique ability to analyze that and then suggest changes, correct?
We do. We're one of, to my knowledge, we're one of two licensed companies in the country that does this right now.
Wow. Niche. What? That's great. That's a great niche to be in, right? I mean, that's like one of two trendsetters. I love it.
Thank you.
Let's see. Let's move on to what makes your business so special. Or I'm sorry, not what, but what else makes it special? What's one thing you wish more people knew about your business?
I don't know if there's one thing that I would say. What we talk to the people that we provide services to, we're probably the most broker friendly piece of software out there. I didn't build something. I built something that I wanted to use in my business, but the reality is we don't have anything of value unless it provides value to our brokers and the carriers that use us.
Sure.
So we're always extremely interested in seeking feedback and ideas from them on what do you want to see, how can we help you, how can we make this product better for you, what can we do to help you better communicate your value to your clients. And so we're ultra all in on that.
That's actually awesome. So, do you have, aside from just generating feedback from your clients, do you actually have a system in place to do that, or is that something that, I mean, is it regular? Is it not regular? What does that look like?
We don't I'm not a formal person per se, so it's very informal. I still do all of our demos. I want to talk to people. I want to find out
Right.
what pain they're having. And I know there's an adage in sales, about how you sell. We disqualify people because we're not the right fit for them. And I'm happy to tell them that. I don't think you're going to get value from our product. It would not be fair for me to sell my product to you because you're not going to use it and you're going to see it's a waste of money. At the same time, when I have those products, maybe people aren't ready for us yet. Maybe they're using the competitors, or maybe they're wanting something a little different. And I want to hear all of that feedback. So I get regular emails. I get feedback during the demos. We get, feedback from the support email that we have on our system. So it comes from us in a variety of different ways.
That's fantastic. You nailed a point there about disqualifying clients. A lot of businesses, in my opinion, again, should, and something here we teach at Action Coach as well, is that you need to be trying to get A clients, not D clients. And one of the ways to do that is to actually disqualify clients that are below your criteria of what you need. And it's hard for some business owners to say no because in their mind, they want to be able to service everybody. But then, like you were just talking about, the quality of making that choice increases your future success rate. Now you've got people that are commenting about your product because they were successful using it, rather than the other way around, where they're like, "Well, they stink, but really it was me." But they're not going to tell people that, right?
No, we love the feedback.
Yeah, definitely. So in this unique space, what is the number one marketing strategy that has brought you the most business?
Referrals. 100% referrals. We started small. We listened to our users. We gave them what they wanted. And we found out, first of all, the product that we built really didn't move the needle for a lot of people. So based on their feedback, we designed a new one that just gained a ton of traction recently.
Sure.
So it's listening to what people want and then building something and giving that to them.
Perfect. Customer is sometimes we go in thinking
Shocker,
we're the
right?
guru. What's that?
I said shocker, right? Give people what they want.
Yeah, weird. So, the other thing too is we just did this the other day. We're talking about marketing and we said we don't need to be marketing gurus. The fact of the matter is our customers are marketing gurus. They're the ones that are going to tell you whether or not your product is working or not. The marketplace is the smartest guru on the planet and the dumbest probably, but still they know.
And we run a bunch of different marketing campaigns and we do cold outbound outreach. We do ads. I mean, but really
Very
you're
good.
talking about top of funnel and brand awareness. And then
Yes, yeah.
the best sales come from referral partners.
Oh, hands down. You're absolutely correct. Um,
Took me probably 20
so
years to figure that out.
you, that's an understatement. That's an understatement on all business owners. My dad, he still owns a business, and he's 30 years in, and he's still figuring things out. You know what I mean? And it's like I don't I don't envy the length of time it would take to do that, but you don't know what you don't know, right? And if you don't know where to look to get to know what you need to know, that's also difficult. So it might take it might take a long time, depending on who you know.
Certainly takes a long time, and I'm sure based upon your LinkedIn profile and my emails, I mean, people outbound outreach the wrong way a lot of times, and they bring no value to the cold email that they're even offering, and it falls on deaf
Yeah,
ears. And then they follow
yeah,
up a bunch of other times. What, I didn't want your product in the first place because you didn't do your research to find out even if I'm a good fit.
right. Exactly. Yeah, it's we've got cold outreach is we would say that it's the lowest of the
Oh yeah.
levels of marketing strategies for sure. However, it's so necessary once you get a good rhythm down. You know, once you actually figure that out, it's a necessary part of your. We have a 10 by 10 program that we run here with marketing strategies, where we have 10 different strategies that will run with 10% of our marketing income or budget placed in each one. It's a diversification. It's like an investment
Yep.
diversification, right? Could do the same thing with the marketing strategy. Um, but I've got to get sidetracked here. So, hey, listen, we're kind of running out of time here. This has been an absolutely brilliant interview. I love the fact that we're talking about how you had a podcast before we got on. I think that's great. There's some great dynamics here. But we spent a lot of time focused on the business. Um, what, why did Todd, why did you choose to go into business for yourself? Why did you do that? I mean, what was the real thing there? What was that?
Freedom.
Yeah, okay. But hold on though. Did you actually get the freedom that you were looking for?
I listen. I'm a guy that likes to work. I can't sit around. I mean, I like to read. I like to do things. So I have the
Sure.
freedom to do whatever I want to do. If I want to take an afternoon off, or if I want to work hard in the morning, or go on vacation. I mean, the the entrepreneurship provides freedom, and
It does.
ultimately it'll provide for even more freedom in the future. So grinding a little bit right now for what's to come in 3, 4, 5 years is not a problem.
Worth it. Absolutely worth it. Yes. We've certainly covered a lot of ground in our
Yeah.
conversation today. Um, for those who are watching, I highly encourage you to go back to this, watch it again. Some great nuggets in here, especially for anybody that might be the perfect audience for a business like Mod Advisor. As we begin to wrap up, Todd, I got a few rapid fire questions. These are
Yeah.
quick top of the head answers for each of these. You ready to
All
rock
right.
this?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. What is the key to success for you?
Oh, that's a tough one. The key to success for me, just the freedom. I think when I have the freedom to do what I want, when I want, where I want, that's the key to success. We're not there yet, but we're on our path.
100%. I love it. And we just brought it up too. So it's like perfect, like segue. What is the one piece of advice for other business owners that you'd give right now?
Oh man. There's so many pieces of advice that I want to give.
I know.
Um, being an entrepreneur it's hard, it's long hours, it's lonely at times. Uh, so having the emotional and mental fortitude to kind of persevere and maybe know that you're on the right path is one. But then to validate that, you need to network yourself and build a support system that's extremely helpful to push you through those moments and maybe carry and lift you when you're down and help support you when things are going really good.
Man, that's powerful, Todd. Big time. Like I'm going through my own entrepreneurial journey, and I'm like, it's so true. This is so true.
Oh, it's
What is
lonely.
the
It's lonely at the top. I
it
mean,
it
and when I
is.
say
It
top, I
is.
don't mean top like we're all, when you're an entrepreneur, you can't pass the buck around. You can't say, I'm not going to figure it out. Like it's all on you. You got to have the
Period.
finances. You got to have the people. You got to have the clients. You got to have the marketing. You have to know everything about your business, and some
Yes.
things you're not going to know.
Yeah, you're
And
wearing
like,
all the hats.
yeah, beating your head to try and figure that out. I mean, it's great for growth and personal growth, but it's
Have
not easy.
we have thick skin because of it. Thick skin because of it.
There you go.
What is one book you're reading now or have read most recently?
The book that the book that I just finished that I'm in love with, is Elon's book. Elon. He didn't write it. Another author did. But if you want to talk about, we look at him today and he's the most or one of the most wealthy men in the world.
Yeah.
But you go back to what he was doing with SpaceX and Tesla and the times that he about went broke and the friends that he had to call on, and what he had to do. And I'm trying to remember what he's like, cut, and then add back. That's what he said. Like he would just cut and eliminate waste. And what he did with Twitter, there was so much waste at Twitter. He let everybody go. He's like, I might cut too far. That's fine. But then we'll add back in. But
Yeah.
it was blow.
Yeah. It's make mistakes. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, period. Don't fear mistakes. Fail forward.
But he was unwavering. I mean, have you read his book
Was,
yet?
yeah. I haven't read his book yet. This is just what I know from the other areas where I watch Elon, but his book's on my list.
Yeah, he was hated by a lot of employees, and he did not tolerate what he didn't want. And he was quick to fire, quick to hire. People hated him, and I mean, I could see why, because his vision was he's going that way, and if you weren't on the train with him, you're not on the train.
You're literally not on here. We're gonna sit around and wait for you.
That's right.
All right. If you could choose only one area of your business you could immediately improve tomorrow, what would it be?
Oh, we'd all love more sales, wouldn't we?
Nice, flat, simple. Oh, I don't know. More sales might be nice. I love
explosive growth.
Explosive growth.
Explosive growth, shorter sales cycles. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. More profit. Let's go. Before we get into the final question of the day, how can others learn more about you or your company, Todd? How can they get in contact?
I am all over social media.
Okay.
You can find me on TikTok, LinkedIn, probably Snapchat, Twitter, modadvisor.com. Pretty easy. Search me up.
There we go.
And that's not trying to be condescending. Like it's just, if you search
No,
my name,
it's just like,
find me.
Yes. Look, try looking. I'll be there.
If you can't find me, your internet's not working. I don't know.
Power outage near you. Okay, last question. What is the most inspiring to you today?
In terms of what? What inspires me the most?
Yes. What inspires you the most today?
My family. What I do today is directly related to my spouse and my kids and my grandkids, and what we're going to leave behind and what we're going to give them and how we're going to help them. So what I do today, it's all for them.
Family's a big deal. Family is a big deal. If you ever get a chance, I'd love to share my story with you. It's on our website. Family is a very big deal for us.
I read through your website and the accident that you had with the kids. Yes, you're with your kids, not the kids.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
big deal, but it's who I am today. It made me, and that's saying something, right? I mean, it's and for our audience members might not know our story. I'll share it at another time, but I appreciate you reading ahead on that, Todd. That feels good.
Absolutely.
As we wrap up, I just want to say thank you, Todd. Seriously, this has been an amazing spotlight on your journey, and not just like your business, but in your other business, and just as an owner. And you're witty, you're funny. I love it. I'm deeply grateful that you allowed me to look under the hood with you.
Thanks for having me on, Gabe. This was fun.
Absolutely. This has been the Business Owner Spotlight with Todd Thams of Mod Advisor, and your host, me, Gabriel Moore with Action Coach Business Coaching. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.